Yo, yo, what's poppin'?
Hola.
How are you?
Pretty good. Just finally relaxing after this insane week.
Oh my god, the most whirlwind week ever,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Totally. I mean,
What do you, yeah.
need to recover.
You know what I realized that in the whole whirlwind of the thing, even though we were watching the race and everything, we actually like didn't have a moment to comment on the actual race.
Uh yeah. I mean, we were trying to figure out what happened. It was like we at one point we had the Amex radio in our ear listening to the broadcast and
Well, it's confusing because you have the track commentators,
oh,
and then you have the Amex thing, and then you have the people screaming. So it was a lot,
well, then
and then I
we had the frat boys behind us who were asking who were asking you to explain to them everything that was going on until they just kind of like gave up and left.
I'll give Amex some credit though because they said they got the tickets for free from Amex the day before or something. Less Amex, but these boys had no idea it was amazing.
It,
Um,
yeah,
first, but so remember the last. So we leave
yeah.
and land like Max is one, Lando is P2, George is P3, like
Oscar was four, P4.
before that, and then we leave, and then it turns out uh, I rem- well, we were really wrong. It's like,
I I didn't check my phone. Not neither of us checked our phones, and all of a sudden it was like Max and Oscar got called to the stewards, and
but remember, I did
it's
tell you something interesting happened because I was staying in the same hotel as the McLaren people, and I mentioned to you that when I was walking toward the elevator late, that there was some McLaren people that I had already become friendly with,
yeah,
and I was like, hey, 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 and they were not like engaged. They were very serious, and I was like, oh, that's weird. It's like the race is over. They've had a great race. Like, oh, that's odd that they're so stressed. And little did we know that's why I didn't. It was so insignificant that I didn't even comment it to you. But I was now in hindsight, I know why they were so stressed.
yeah. I mean, there was a rumor. I don't even know if it's a rumor. It's like speculation that they there was an issue in Brazil with the McLaren that got reported or whatever, and they kind of didn't do anything about it, but they thought there might be something happening. Other teams thought that McLaren was doing something to keep the ride height low and protect the skid thing. Um,
Skid block.
yeah. I don't. Listen.
I don't
My
know.
my
I
brain's
feel
not
like,
working.
but like I'm gonna say something. I think at this point in the championship, they would not do anything untoward on purpose. It is strange that it's on both cars. I'll give you that, but I certainly would not think that they were gonna blow a championship over something.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I it's You are three races from the locking up. You've already won the constructors. You're three races from. You should be able to walk away with the drivers, and I can't imagine that happening. But all right, I got to ask you this because oh man, it's like it's eating at me.
Uh-uh.
FIA.
Is the Illuminati involved? Did somebody
Like
call Michael Massey?
something's happening. I like
So yeah, you're not the first person to ask me, and uh, obviously, um, what's the song I like by Elvis Presley? Suspicious Minds.
suspicious
So
minds.
Suspicious Minds. I'm gonna say absolutely not, but it does make for a great Netflix special. It does make for a very exciting end of the year championship. However, what it doesn't make for is McLaren's legal team overtime. So I don't think anybody would be able to do anything like that in the FIA because McLaren, that Zach Brown fella, your friend, would
My
have
buddy.
pounced this. So I'm going to say absolutely not. And I had mentioned to you actually earlier in the week that somebody had asked me about the championship, and I said, well, I know what the numbers say, but I don't. I would never discount Max Verstappen, and that in a little bit of oh Lali, Don't be so naive.
Oh,
There's no way.
hi, Lucy.
I, Lucy, like really, a little bit condescending, perhaps this person spoke to me, that I was being a little naive thinking that Max had a chance. And I was slightly peeved at the time because I said, listen, all we need is the McLarens to crash into each other and there's Max's chance. And they didn't crash into each other, but the net result is the same. They have 0 points.
Net. 0.
Isn't that what F1 wants? Net 0. So, and now we have 2 guys.
By 2030, though.
By 2030, it came sooner than they expected. Now we have 366 for Max and Oscar. We have 390 for Lando.
Yeah.
And Max is en route to at least having a very good chance at clinching his 5th. So
24 points. And there's what, 70 or not 79 anymore.
There's 50. There's 50, like you get 25 for a win.
Yeah, there's 50 plus the sprint, so 58.
And also, by the way, he has an incredible record at Qatar. He has an incredible record at Abu Dhabi. So these are not tracks that in any way are tricky for him, right? So Lando did win last year in Abu Dhabi, but still Max had won the previous years, and Max has won the 2 races we've had at Qatar. So, I mean...
yeah, I mean, I'm not betting against Max at this point. That's my take. I just can't bet against Max.
So you know that what hurt me the most about the disqualification was the fantasy issue. So for those of us who play fantasy F1, we've really amassed enough budget throughout the whole year to be able to have guys like Lando on our team and have really good constructors like McLaren and Mercedes simultaneously. But then when Lando gets disqualified and both McLarens get disqualified, it gives a lot of heartache to the global people, the people like me who are going for global ranking. I know you don't care. But
I didn't say I don't care. I just...
people care. Some people
You care. I know you care, and that's okay.
I'm one of those people who care, so there you go. So yeah, and then now we're doing Qatar, and not us, but the lads and lasses of F1 are on their way probably right now to Qatar.
Right now, I know there's a lot of people leaving yesterday, and some were leaving today, headed right over there.
Something we didn't comment that I think I sent you a meme today or something that we missed while watching it live was the Alex Albon debacle with the
the front wing.
So it turns out that he didn't have a radio, and he had contact, I think, turn 14 with Lewis, and he had damage to his wing. But there was apparently no radio. There was some flaw with the radio. So when he went into the pits, I think he's just trying to point my wing, but there was a huge miscommunication, and they ended up retiring that car. But it wasn't that. I think that the meme I sent you made it seem like Williams forgot to fix the wing. It wasn't that. I think there was more to it, that there was a radio. The radio wasn't working, so I don't think they knew, or I don't know. Something.
Well, I like the Kimi Antonelli memes that came out.
We're not going to talk about those,
but they're funny. So if you need to go see it.
Just go, guys, Google the tire choice for Kimi Antonelli for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. That's all I want to say, and you will find some very funny memes. That's it. Yeah, please. This is a hopefully children are watching this show, so please. What else? Anything else we need to debrief?
Well, yeah. I mean, you did something pretty cool.
Oh, guys. So on Saturday before the Grand Prix, I was able to interview Romain Grosjean on stage at the Las Vegas Fan Prix, which is the first ever edition of the Fan Prix. And I played it so cool, guys, so cool. But the whole time I'm thinking holy bananas, I'm talking to Romain Grosjean and I'm just chit-chatting with him.
You were natural.
It felt very natural. I wasn't nervous at all. It was just the whole time I'm this is Romain Grosjean, and he's 2 feet away from me. And luckily I know his career very well, so that there was nothing that no topic that could come up that I wasn't able to sort of handle, which was really good. And he was so charming and open with his responses. And right before we started, tell them about the little boy.
Oh, Nicholas.
No, Tomas,
Tomas,
Tomas.
Tomas, Tomas. That's right, Tomas. Oh, he was so cute. He sits down right next to me and his dad, and he looks at his father, and I think his mom was behind, and he goes, "I am so what do you say? I'm so excited. This is the best day of my life," or something like that. It was the cutest thing ever.
So this kid was so excited to meet Romain Grosjean. He was right front row, and he had a Red Bull shirt, which was hilarious. And he said, "I'm so excited. This is the best day of my life." And then when we opened it up to questions from the audience, he went up. "Hi, I'm Thomas." He couldn't even look at Roman. It was so
It
sweet. Oh
was
my
it
goodness.
was yeah, that was cute. And that I have to say, like that's the organizer Scott, our friend of ours who put on the Fan Prix, he he wanted to do this because it's really challenging to get to a Grand Prix these days. Like it's not cheap anymore. So it's challenging, especially for a family of three or four, and that's just to get in the door. There's concessions, there's merch, there's all that stuff, and so it's just really expensive. It doesn't matter where you go, whether it's Las Vegas or Silverstone. Like it doesn't really matter anymore. They're all pretty pricey. And so Scott's idea was to throw this Fan Prix to make some access to a driver or a former driver accessible. And he had some cool cars. He had some activations and simulators and things like that. And as soon as I saw the little boy say that, I was like, okay, I get it. I get it now. Like it
100%.
made sense, right? It just made
Makes
sense.
total sense. But also, like, that kid made a core memory.
Mm,
He'll never forget meeting Roman, sitting in the audience. Front row is so lovely. And the event was, like, so well run.
yeah.
And his team did such a good job. There was beautiful cars, beautiful activations. Um, to be also the first edition of
Yeah.
it and to have built it in such a way, I can only imagine how much it can grow. And maybe next year it'll be actually part of the Grand Prix itself. Who knows? I mean, it's an excellent event. I don't see why any Grand Prix wouldn't want to have something like this. It's almost like a thank you to the fans.
Yeah. I
So,
remember Miami. Was it last year in Miami? They had done some sort of like I'm gonna call it a fan prix. I don't think it was called that. It was some sort of fan festival. Actually, it was fan fest. There was something similar down there. I didn't go to it, so I can't comment on it. I did see some posts and whatnot. Um, Similar vibe, I guess, but I think those might be that could be a way to unlock a different audience. Whether F1 embraces it is a whole different story, but if others want to take, make that opportunity for families, for people who, just can't afford to go to a Grand Prix, like that's pretty cool. And I think there are plenty of opportunities with all the races that are out there to have those types of activations. I mean, and it's really it's endless. The possibilities are endless on what you can do with something like that, right? Um, there was a ton of things going on in the Fan Prix. Like I said, there was the simulators, but they also had like a reality show being filmed. Like it was a motorsport focused reality show. There was tons of vendors, which is obviously that's the kind of stuff's going to happen. But there was a lot of like free stuff being given away. There was merch that was pretty um, I don't want to say cost prohibitive, cost effective, I guess, or it was fairly inexpensive. Um,
some antique cars.
Antique car, some pretty cool cars, just sitting on there. There was some pretty cool. There was Nicole Havarda, Canadian F1 Academy driver, was there. The Salines from Saleen, the auto manufacturers, they were there, and they were, I believe, one of the either sponsors or hosts of the event.
But there was like at least 6 Saline cars there
Yeah,
that were
which is
spectacular.
freaking
And did
cool.
you notice there was like we didn't even go there, like a test your reflexes zone.
Yeah,
It looked like some American Ninja Warrior kind of thing. It looked really cool.
I mean, it's cool stuff. It's something to do, right? And then it's nice to see like I said, the little kids that are enjoying it. And there was a good amount of people. We were it was pretty early on Saturday when we were there, but it was
It
people.
was busy for the Roman panel. It
Yeah,
was quite fun.
and people were waiting. Like people wanted to get in. You and I were there early because we were you were kind of prepping, and so we were there early. We were watching people knock on the door. They wanted to come in, and it didn't open till 12. So it was like, okay, this is like people are here. They're finding out about it, but Yeah, I think that might be. I don't want to say it's the future of motorsport. I think it's an opportunity to grow a fan base, especially with the popularity growing in F1 specifically. There's got to be a way to activate on all of these younger audience that you are now touting as new fans, but the prices on the tickets don't necessarily match that narrative. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
Okay,
That was fun.
before I let you go, tell me about running into my BFF James Hinchcliffe.
So I'm getting on the plane. I'm waiting. We're on our way to Minnesota. I had a layover. Minnesota. Minnesota? Minnesota?
Minnesota. No
Soda?
offense, lovely people from Minnesota for our horrible accents.
Anyway, so I'm standing there. I'm just like hanging out. I'm watching the Steelers actually on my phone. And I look up. I just happened to look up because the Steelers were not doing well. And I said, I know that guy. I mean, immediately recognized him. And he's just standing there. He's just like looking at his phone. He's waiting. He's also waiting to board the plane. And I said, let me go talk to him. I'm just going to go up to him. Because no one was up. Like, nobody went by him, which I think to you and I is like kind of wild because, I don't know, he's a driver. He's on
because he's freaking James Hinchcliffe.
he's on our TV every week. Like he's on the F1 TV every week. He's on he drove an IndyCar. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, I just went up to him and I was like, "Hey, I said you were on my podcast," which is so,
I'm a friend of Lally.
which was such a weird way to say it. I was like, "You were on my podcast." But wait a minute, I wasn't on there. I was like, "You talked to Lally," and he's like, "Oh yeah." He knew it the minute I mentioned Lally's name. He knew exactly who you were, that he was on the show. I was like, I couldn't make it that day. I'm like, so Lally had to do it by herself. But I was like, thank you so much for being on the show. I was like, it was great, And I said it meant a lot to Lally. She's she's a big fan. This and whatever. And he was super nice. I great little like back and forth. And then I think he probably would have talked to me longer had I stayed there. But I kind of just said like thank you again, and I walked away, and I was like safe flight and this and that, and I wanted to respect his time and space, and he was trying to like get on his phone or do something anyway. So yeah, then he sat like 5 rows in front of me. I was like, oh, cool. But it was that was fun. I was like, what a small world.
The mayor is a legend. Okay,
absolute legend.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Qatar this weekend.
Yeah.
Out.
All right. I'm going to bed. I gotta sleep.
Ciao. Bye.
Ciao.